What's up, everyone? It's Gavin or Tweek. Welcome to episode 71.
It's me, Charles. Or Charles, of course. And?
Well, we're mixing it up a little bit this week. What's going on, everyone? You got Matt or Haz. And finally, actually very happy to introduce a guest, as everyone in the comments always wants, my man and current Big House champion, Riddles. What's up, dude? Riddles in the building. What's going on?
What's good? It's Riddles. How are y'all doing?
What's up,
Good,
guys? Yeah,
good,
so we
man.
read your comments. Sorry, we couldn't get Cola, we couldn't get Mars, we couldn't get Light, so like we kept going down the list a lot, and we finally got to Riddles.
Oh my
Just kidding,
god.
Riddles is
Alright,
very,
alright.
very highly.
Alright,
It
we're
was
starting
like
off like this.
Riddles, Cola, and Mars were like the top three for sure, and obviously my bias is like, dude, let's get Riddles. Come on. Well, I mean, I'm on all three of you eventually. But what's
FGC
going on,
gang.
man? How you
It's
doing?
good, bro. How are you doing? I'm doing good. I'm chilling right now.
Just chilling, just big
Yeah,
house.
I'm just
champion
chilling. I haven't done anything all day. I was literally just waiting for it. I was like waiting all day just for like I was just thinking about Tweek Talk 6 p.m. I'm just like
Nice.
I was just waiting
Yeah, we're officially
until
on the
now, but
calendar.
we're finally here.
Well,
man.
congrats on winning
you.
a major. You know,
Thank you,
that's
thank you. I appreciate it.
that's quite
I
the
still
task.
think
there.
I still think about it sometimes.
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. And you did it with Kazuya too, which was
Mhm.
pretty great. I mean, were you solo Kazuya the whole bracket?
Yeah,
I
was
didn't see
solo.
some of your.
I think
early
I was
matches.
solo. Yeah, I didn't go Terry once. I was all Kazuya the entire time.
Oh, wow.
It's,
Is
Yeah.
that something like you just planned or?
Yeah, I did plan it.
Okay, okay.
Alright.
Interesting.
Basically, I just like, I think after Summit, when I beat Leo, or like just after that tournament in general, I was just like, dude. And after playing with everybody after the tournament, I was just like, I need to start playing this character more, or like just focus on him. So in the coming weeks, I just basically solo practiced him, like on Wi-Fi tournaments and all that, just to prepare him for Big House, and it worked out in the end.
Have you watched back all the VODs yet?
Yeah, I did. I mean, YouTube
Did you
video on it.
hear? Did you hear when I specifically said that? Like, he's gone all Kazuya, and I think it's because he beat Leo with Kazuya.
No, like that was definitely part of it,
Nailed
but
it.
like just in general, I'm already starting it off saying this, but like I never at Summit, I've never lost so much with Terry in friendlies and won so much with Kazuya. I think that was like the breaking
Wow.
point for
Dang,
me.
Damn.
friendly
Mainly.
sessions.
Yeah,
it's
like
funny.
the friendlies and like the tournament sets as well.
I feel like everyone, or at least like Haz mentioned, like it feels like he kind of knew you were gonna go all Kazuya before you even did it. And the same thing before I actually played you in bracket, I was thinking like Terry would make a lot of sense, but I just had a gut feeling. I was like, I think he's just gonna use Kazuya, and that's what
Yeah.
happened. And then you ended up just solo Kazuya the whole
Yeah, I
tournament.
remember.
Yeah.
I remember watching last. I actually watched the last episode. You were like, if anyone, or like if I were to go Terry on anyone, it would be you. I
Yeah.
was just like,
Or
screw it.
Steve or
Might as well.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was very impressive. And I actually had the same thought process as Haz. I was like, I feel like since Summit, like there was just a shift in like your character selection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that just goes to the power of Summit. Like, we always talk about that, the Summit Powerup, right? Like, what does that really mean? And I think it means a lot to a lot of different people, because so many people come to Summit with different goals, right? I want to win the bracket. I just want to get a couple good wins. I want to prove myself. I want to get better, or whatever, right? And for you, it seems like the journey throughout all of Ultimate has really been, what characters do I pick to
Yeah.
give myself the best chance to win? And I mean, obviously, we were brothers with the Belmont and the Ken
Yeah,
early
way
on.
back
so,
in 2018.
dude,
my
I
God.
know.
Do you want me to
dude.
start from the beginning?
Yeah, let's start
About the
there.
character
So-
choices? About the character choices in Ultimate, my entire timeline, I guess.
Yeah, like
There's always been like a hot topic, I guess.
how'd you start with Belmont? Because I think for those who don't know, who's pretty new to Ultimate, it's like, oh, he plays the fighting game characters, but there's always this weird connection between Belmonts and fighting game
Yeah.
characters. Like
So
everyone kind of plays them all.
Yeah, right. So early Ultimate, I was coming off of Smash 4. I was a Smash 4 player since the beginning. Like I played it casually at first, and then I heard, there's a competitive scene. Oh, like cool, I got into it, spammed for glory. I grinded on some matchmaking site called Anthers Ladder. I'm not sure if some of you guys know what that is. I'm sure
yeah.
Tweek
Oh, yeah.
knows.
Of course.
Yeah, definitely. So at that time, I was like I ended off Smash 4 as like a Ryu Mega Man main. It's just because I love those are like, and it's just because those are like two of my favorite video game characters of all time. I love Capcom games, so yeah. So that's how I ended off Smash 4, and then with Ultimate, I tried playing Ryu, and I don't know if you got, and like some people might not know, this, but when Ultimate came out, Ryu and Ken were really they were really bad.
Yeah.
I know
They were
this.
really-
I know this
I knew-
1000%.
I knew the moment I played them, I'm like, dude, this is not it. So I had
Yeah.
to. So I was just like, you know, I can't play Ryu in this game. I might as well just start fresh. You know what I mean? So Castlevania is also one of my favorite video game franchises. And when I saw Richter/Simon in Smash, I was just like, bro, I need to play these characters. I need to be the best with them, just because I thought they were really cool, right? So I started playing them. Unlocked them, you know, went on Elite Smash, and I started winning a lot. I just noticed it online. I was just winning a lot with them, and even with like my first offline Ultimate tournament, I got second out of like 100 something. Like my first ever Ultimate tournament, I'm just like, whoa, I'm pretty good right now. Like immediately, I started off like having really good results. So I was like top 3 in the region, like basically right off the bat. So I was just like, you know what? I might as well just keep going with this. And eventually, you know, I went to my first US tournament, Pound 2019, all Richter. I got like 33rd or something. And then I started doing well at, I think my first breakout was really like Gommel 2019. I beat a couple good players there. And at a certain point, I think Ken got birthed. I forgot when it was. So I'm sure Haz, you know about this. I'm sure you know, but there's this one patch. Yeah. There's this one patch where the Shotos became like real characters. So I was just like, oh, they're actually a real character now. So I started using Ken as a secondary. I'm sure you guys remember that era. You know, the Smash Con 2019, Riddles vs. Leo, all that.
Yeah.
Oh, then
I was watching that in person.
There was a lot of people watching that tournament.
Yeah.
Dude. I was like, dude. I remember my friend was like telling me during that set, dude, like the floor was shaking because
it was crazy. That's
because of how many people were watching and like getting excited. I'm just like, damn. After that, I still think about that tournament like all the time. I think about 2019 in general. I have a lot of fond memories.
2019 was a very like right before.
It was a very special time in Ultimate.
Yeah, it was. I commentated this match.
I remember.
Did you really?
Yeah. It was game 5 down the wire. It was really
actually
fucking sick.
It was you and Phil, right?
Yeah, me and
Because
Phil,
I remember thinking Phil doesn't know shit about Ken. Like, I just remember like in the Phil way where it doesn't like you wouldn't notice, you know, because he's so good at just like commentating. Like it doesn't really matter. But I'm like, damn, Ken had just gotten buffed, so it's like he has never really seen this character before. And, like it's the biggest match that this character has ever seen, and obviously I care so much, but he still did a great job commentating. I'm like, damn, he does not know a thing about this character.
No shade, but I remember watching game 1 and he said like, I think he accidentally called me Rickles or something like that. Shout out to Rickles.
Oh god, yeah.
I was like,
Oh
I love EE,
God.
but like that was just like, damn.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, I got 13th at that event. Be a lot of good players, obviously. But at that, it's funny because like I think right after that tournament, I was like, damn, dude, I really want to play a different character other than Richter because obviously, you know, I love the character. He's really fun. I think he's really cool, but I'm sure we all know like how limited he can be at times, how hard it can be playing him at the top level. So I was just like, screw it, I'll play a different character. So I decided to main Joker for a little bit, and that didn't last very long. But yeah, I thought I was getting like kind of decent with him, but I was like a Joker Ken main for a little bit, and then obviously Terry came out, and then I just put all of my I guess effort towards him, right? So I just started doing that. Starting to get like decent, I started to get like decent results. I think you were the first. I think Tweek was actually the first like really good player I beat with Terry.
Let's make moves, right?
Yeah, it was Let's Make Big Moves.
Watching,
It was like way.
It's so funny because I didn't think you were about to mention that. I thought you were gonna mention when we ran into each other online.
Oh my god, bro. Well, I guess that too.
So
wait, the hidden lore?
Riddles may have beaten me in tournament with Terry, but I am up in the Terry Ditto on day 1. Terry Ditto.
My god,
Day 1 Terry Dittos.
It's
I
true.
can't believe
It's
what I'm
true.
hearing
It's
right
true.
now.
I'm
Wait,
sorry.
what
It's
color-
true. It's true. I
Wait,
admit it, dude.
What color Terry did you use default, right, Gavin?
I think we both use
Probably.
default. I think we both use default. But
Yeah, I'm a default kind of guy.
Yeah.
But,
Right. Yeah. Damn.
That's so
yeah,
funny.
that is true. That I for some reason I thought he was gonna mention the Elite Smash matches, but it makes more sense to mention the actual tournament.
Yeah, true.
Well, that's where your mind went though. Like,
Yeah,
there's
I
no
just kind of
reason.
forgot about the Let's Make Big Moves set, but yeah.
But yeah, no, I was just like, when Terry came out, I didn't even really know how good he was, but I think I won like a really big regional from my region, like day 3 of when the Terry, or like day 3 of when he came out. So I was just like, oh, might as well just stick to this, right? And I was having good results, and then obviously COVID happened, so I had nothing else other than, I mean, we all just had like Wi-Fi and streaming. That was basically it, right? So I started to do that a lot, enter a lot of Wi-Fi tournaments,
Yeah.
Wi-Fi Terry. Got a decent bit better at the game, I'd say. I honestly say that the timeline is actually like so crazy of how it like ended up with COVID and everything. Like we'd be in such a different timeline right now if none of that like filler arc ever happened. But yeah, no, I was just basically all Terry for basically that entire era, and got pretty decent results. Grew my stream a little bit, and then obviously Kazuya came out, and when he got revealed, I had like almost zero connection to the character. I mean, I played Tekken before, but I never really like paid attention to Kazuya, so I was just like, you know what, I was so focused on Terry. I was like, I'll try him out. He looks fun. And then obviously he came out, and when I was playing him, I think he was like the most fun I ever had. Just because he was new, he had so many options, movement and everything. I wouldn't really say everything really clicked with that character right at the moment, because I was losing to a lot of like, I don't want to say bad players, but like people who I quote unquote should be winning against. He was really hard at first because like nobody knew what they were really doing. So I didn't have that many hopes. Like my first impressions weren't that great. I mean, obviously, I'm sure my first impressions weren't that great for like a year, and then new meta advancements happened, all that. I think I started taking him a lot more seriously around like early 2022. This is like when like the dash after the electric and like the first deck, all these like meta revolutionary stuff came out. So I was just like, oh, I might as well try and grind this out. Maybe balance Terry and Kazuya together. I did have a Roy era. I remember. I always thought like in the back of my head, oh, FGCs can't do it or whatever. I'm sure people remember like this era or like my mentality with my characters back then. But yeah, no, I played Roy for like 2 months ish, and honestly, I think I just needed like a break from Terry, Kazuya earlier, because I was just like, no, I felt like I think I was plateauing very, very hard from late 2021.
Oh, sorry to cut you off, but I think what's interesting about, so Kazuya came out and it was still COVID era.
It kind of. It was June 2021, so it was like on the verge of like offline coming back, quote unquote.
So it's like it's interesting because you were like making breakthroughs with Terry, and then another option comes out. So it's like even if you really liked Kazuya immediately, like you still like were putting so much effort and time into Terry that it was just like that's such a like I feel like it like part of you still needed more time just to even like think straight. Like
yeah, definitely. I remember Summit. I forgot that Summit happened during that. And I think that was like my first, I guess, Kazuya breakthrough. But I still didn't have like that many good like high hopes, I guess. Again, this was a very long time ago. It's already over a year since Ultimate Summit 3. That's actually like crazy to me. But
that was like the big question at Summit 3 too. Is like, oh, you think Riddles is gonna bust out the Kazuya because you were tweeting about it and stuff like that. I felt that was a fun timeline.
It's funny back then because I was actually planning to go all Terry because I wanted to like it was big tournaments. So I was like, I have to go my best character, right? Yeah. And then I think after I lost to Mars, I was so tilted. And I think my first match was Mars and I lost to him with Terry. And I'm just like, I was so tilted after. I was just like, dude, I'm just gonna go Kazuya for the rest of the bracket. I don't even care anymore. Right, and then all of a sudden I beat Maestro, all of a sudden I beat Charlie, all of a sudden I go super close with Void.
That was crazy shit.
But yeah, it did pretty well. I went game 5 with Spargo way back. But yeah, those are different times for sure. But yeah, back on topic, I was filling out Roy a bit. I actually like genuinely did enjoy playing that character a lot because I think he taught me a lot. More on the fundamental aspect, right? Everyone makes fun of like FGC characters for like being no fundamental, being so different, right? I know, but like
never heard that one before.
But yeah, no, I really enjoyed playing that character, honestly, and I'm glad I did it because it helped me like learn a lot about more of the fundamental side of Smash. So yeah, after that, Collision happened right after, and I was like right back on track of playing FGCs, and I think that was my first time using like Terry and Kazuya both at the same time, and I got top 8 as well, or I got top 4, and you beat me at that tournament, I remember. But yeah, no, that was kind of the start of everything. Eventually, I started trying to balance this Terry Kazuya duo, I guess, for a couple of months for basically all of 2022, and then Summit happened, and then obviously I said what I said earlier. So then I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna try this character out because everyone, complains like he's broken and all that. So I was just like, you know what? I think I'm gonna try it. I think I remember actually. I'm sorry if I'm going off topic, but I think at SmashCon, me and Aaron were talking, right? And this is when Onin was like wrecking everybody with Steve, and I'm just like, bro, what are we doing playing these high tiers? I'm just like, me and Aaron were just talking in the crowd, and I'm just like, what am I doing playing Terry? What are you doing playing Diddy Kong? Like, I know they're both really good characters, but like, this is when everyone was like so doomer and everything.
Yeah,
right.
It was funny. It was a funny time, but
that was like right after Invitation.
And Aaron thinks very highly of Kazuya.
Yeah, and he was like, you really don't think you can just do it with Kazuya? And I was just like, nah, you know what I mean? I don't know. And he was just like, well, you're way better than everyone else with him. So, and then I was just like, maybe I am. But then, what I mean? I like wrote it off, but like I always had it in the back of my head. But yeah, I was just like, you know what? At a certain point, I was just like, fuck it, might as well.
Yeah.
Wait, is there swearing allowed on this?
Oh no, dude,
you're fine.
Okay.
Fucking Riddles, we're all going down together. So,
yeah.
For your character picks. For your character picks now, is it just like your next? We got the Ludwig Invitational coming up. Are you thinking like 99% Kazuya, like maybe one matchup Terry? Like
I'm saying like I'd say something like around like maybe 90% Kazuya and 10% Terry because I still want to keep the Terry around. The thing is,
I think it's a good option to have.
Yeah. I don't think it's smart to solo main in this game. Like period. I mean, Leo plays like 3 different characters, right? Like for a reason too. Solo maining in this game, like it's possible. I don't think it's impossible, right? Like it's very doable. Especially if your character's good enough, but like at a certain point, you're gonna run into that matchup where you're just like, bruh, I really wish I was playing a different character. And I think for that matchup, it's probably like Young Link or Sonic. And I think that's kind of it. Honestly, like I think Terry actually destroys Young Link. And that matchup isn't that bad for Kazuya, but like Terry, I think just bodies that character. So I think I might keep him for him because like it's a lot harder with Kazuya, I think. And Sonic is Sonic. I don't even know what to think of that character anymore. I might just go Roy against that character. I don't know. I really want to fight like Ken or Sonics again and try with my Kazuya because I don't know. It might I know it sounds bad, but in my head I don't think it doesn't sound that bad. But I don't know. We'll see. I have to theory cry. I have to see for myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On paper, I would definitely give it to Sonic, but Kazuya is we've never had a character like Kazuya, right?
Yeah.
So it's so hard for me to envision certain matchups because I'm thinking like old school, like these are how FGC characters operate, but I don't think like Kazuya operates on this other plane.
Yeah.
That it's still like you're doing inputs and stuff like that, but like I do think it's very different because he just uses intangibility rather than like, oh, I have like this heavy armor that take a hit, but if it takes, you know what I mean? Like his way of getting in and like weaving defensive properties like invincibility into his moves is like it's so hard to really grasp what the matchup is, especially when you hit so hard, right? So it's like, oh, I could lose this matchup 80% of the time on paper, but when I get 3 hits, I win the game, kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
He kind of has like the Wario effect, where it's
but like
every stock.
But you don't have to charge Waft. Yeah, Waft is the electric.
Another matchup Riddles that I've seen you switch a lot for, and I don't blame you, is Samus. Is that a character that you think is that a Kazuya or Terry or?
That's a Kazuya thing for sure.
Really? Okay, so Belmont's officially dead, like forever then.
Belmont's officially dead. Ice Climbers? Question mark?
Nice, good answer.
Yeah,
that actually matters.
Maybe
in
Ice
region
Climbers.
Too.
I didn't even think about when I fought Big D at Gauntlet. I didn't even like think about. I think I was so tilted. I didn't even think about like, oh, I have a Richter. That's like a 70-30 matchup.
Dude, yes, I know.
I forgot. It was just like next time we'll see. I'm probably gonna start off with Kazuya or test that matchup out. And if it doesn't work out, I'll just go Richter.
So you know what the Kazuya Terry conversation reminds me of? So
what does it remind you of?
A while back, I had a conversation with Jakal about like heavies, and we're like talking about the best heavies, especially because he hates DK. I know I think a lot of Wolf players hate heavies, but especially Donkey Kong, and like I always like my go-to response is always like I think Bowser's the best heavy. He's like the most well-rounded. Blah blah blah. Like the answer you'd expect from a lot of people. And then he hit me with something that really like changed my perspective on like using a heavy. Maybe not like tier list placement, but like value. And he's like, "Who cares about being well-rounded? It's still Bowser. Like why not just play DK and just like have like the advantage state and just like you know what I mean? Like why are you trying to have like a well-rounded package? Just like you're playing a heavy to like cheese people. Why not pick the character that's like you know like going all out in like one category? Like why would you be well-rounded?" And sometimes with Terry and Kazuya, it reminds me of the same thing where like I always in my head value Terry higher, but then I always think of Jakal saying like, "Who cares about that? Just kill us.
Give me the return."
Yeah, just you're playing this archetype of character. Like, why not just like go all out in one category?
I guess. Yeah, I can see that logic.
And sometimes like the Kazuya Terry thing reminds me of that. It's not the exact same, but it's a similar idea where it's like sometimes I'll be playing against Kazuya and like in my head I feel like this character shouldn't be that great, but then it's like well, like it just reminds me of that conversation I had. Yeah. It's just very funny to look back on.
It's funny too because we talk about, and one conversation I think about all the time, very very similar to that, Gavin, is a good tournament character, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe this character has 0 to deaths if you're frame perfect 8 times in a row, right? Like some character like that. It's like Charles always says on paper this should be the best character in the game, but reality is when you're playing against another human and you yourself are a human, there's going to be input errors. You're not going to be perfect every single time. So when I think of a tournament character, Kazuya, just like the threat you bring to the table when you hit hard with that character and when you can move with the crouch dash canceling and all that stuff, you're really like truly a threat. That's why I always said I thought Kazuya was better than Terry. It's along the same line of thinking though, for sure.
That does make sense, but Kazuya's sort of weird as a tournament character because he is like, yes, he has the property of like being very scary, you know, hard hitting, but he also has the issue of needing execution. And I think not enough people think about this at all. And there's like a reason why there's not many good ones, I think, or like why the player base isn't like the great, or like why there isn't that many tournament Kazuyas, right? Like just like even though he's so like talked about, he's not that common, or like he kind of is, but not so much at the top level, right? Or like, you know, your average tournament won't have like 5 Kazuyas in the top 64. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and Steve is a character that I feel like is overall stronger than Kazuya, and you don't have to do all the crazy technical stuff. Like Onin openly tells everyone that he does not know. Onin does not know. Onin just does like very baseline. Like Onin says he plays advantage state, Steve. Like he just gets the bread and butter, like up tilt up airs. If he has a block, go for another up tilt up air or up tilt back air extension and just play advantage state, right? Like you can kind of play those fundamental, more along the fundamental lines of just like, I don't need to do this crazy advanced tech stuff. But I think Kazi, you got to have the execution.
You have to have the execution.
You don't necessarily have to get it every single time, but you need to be able to instill the tournament fear into your opponent. I am not going to be scared of any Kazuya in tournament if they don't 0 to death me once. Like if it just doesn't happen, I'm like, oh, you can't execute. Like
if they're bad, like you'll just watch them.
It's basically a totally different character. So
it's very true.
I think it does go both ways, and that's why I think it took a little time for Kazuya to kind of get the results. You know, obviously winning a major is like really big, and now T is also starting to bring Kazuya and get these different tournament results with the mix of the Pac-Man. I mean, even when you look at Double Down, I think I counted like T was 2 or 3 misinput electrics off from beating Leo. You know what I mean? And like that's tough. And it's just like, dang, only like 1 or 2 or 3 maybe electrics the entire set. You know how much times you do that move? Like, eventually you're gonna fuck up, right?
Yeah. I think something I really liked about your play, Riddles, when I'm thinking of Summit and Big House is kind of like the balance between like, you know, having the threat of like, you know, just kill combos, but you would also end things early, like prioritize center stage. Like
I
I
try
feel
to
like
play as fundamental
yeah,
as I
I feel
can.
like you had a lot of consistency and also a lot of creativity as well in every matchup. Like, and it reminds me of your Terry as well. I feel like maybe your Kazuya took a little bit as well, but your Terry, when your Terry's playing really well, you'll do something no one has ever seen before. But it's also like a big balance of like just doing crazy combos, but also just like simple,
Yeah.
you know, just prioritizing like small victories and things like that. And I think some of the best my favorite thing about your Summit and Big House run was the balance between like just a straight up like the Kazuya 0 to death or like just like, you know, doing the
And just
gates of
fundamental
hell.
gameplay.
Yeah, like I think that was a big like breakthrough I think you had specifically those brackets. Maybe it happened slightly before then, but obviously that's when I noticed.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing I think even me and Haz have like chatted about that a little bit.
Yeah, when I play, I have like 2 modes. I have like, you know, Kazuya mode, and I have playing Smash mode.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's very important. It's very important. I don't think, and I think this is actually an issue with a lot of player bases. They sort of like flowchart or like tunnel vision into what the character's like really good at, but they don't like think about the whole picture. You know, they just focus specifically on like character tech or whatever, or like what they're the best at. But sometimes, you know, you need to think outside the box and just like keep it simple.
Absolutely.
And
That's
like,
Smash, like you said.
yeah.
Like that's the most important thing with Smash, and that's what is hard. It's hard to break out of that shell of knowing like what you can do and what you are going to do in a tournament environment. It's like having all those options available at all the time, rather than thinking like if I don't do this, it's wrong, or if I do this, like this is the right thing to do. Where in Smash, like that's really not the reality at all. It's really like you have like 100 answers and they all can be quote unquote right if you execute it or something like that. And I think with any character, it takes some time and some mastery to like really be aware of that creativity. And I think your Kazuya has definitely reached a breakthrough where like its creativity is on the same level as your Terry for sure.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel that definitely for sure. And honestly, like I'm glad I played so many characters because I think that gives me like it gave me like I was good at Richter, Ken, Joker, Terry, you know, all these different like archetypes, Zoner, Rushdown, all that stuff. It gave me like I've been playing Smash for like I don't think people know that I've been playing Smash for like 7 years. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
Technically I've been playing competitively since you know, I was a Wi-Fi warrior basically all of Smash 4. I entered some offline tournaments, but you know, obviously I had my breakthrough in Ultimate. Yeah, no, definitely. I was a Wi-Fi warrior in all of Smash 4. And I kept up with everything. Try to get really good, right? Get all the fundamental practice. And I've been playing for, you know, that long, and you know, it's paying off. Sure.
I really think it's an important topic too, like what you mentioned about like Smash mode and Kazuya mode, because I do a lot of like Smash lessons, and it's like such an important topic all the time. It's like it's not about like learning, it's about like trying to get them to unlearn some of like their ideas they have on something. Is like, because like you said, they might tunnel vision because they think like this is the right thing to do, when it's with Smash it's just not the case. So I'm really glad you mentioned that for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's very important. And I think a lot of like mid-level, even like high-level players, you know.
Yeah, it can go as far as to the top level once in a while. You know what I mean? Like if like you have so much experience doing something and you have so much muscle memory that sometimes
I struggle with it too.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to like break out of that box once in a while, especially when you're under a lot of pressure or stress. But it's really important to keep an open mind with Smash for sure.
Definitely.
Hey Charles, good to see you. It's your buddy Haz. What's going on?
Nothing much, man. So how's the Smash grind?
Everything's great, man. I'm an unranked player, and you know what? I think I could beat anybody in the world aside from people who are nationally ranked. Tell me, do you know if there's any good events coming up that I might want to participate in?
Well, if I had to guess, or take an educated guess, actually, it would definitely be the Arcadian.
Oh.
Delivered by, of course, you already know them, Beyond the Summit and Papa John's. Make sure to register at the Arcadian.gg. And hey, you can actually win some good money. Look at $50,000 total prize pool. So many different online qualifiers that you can go ahead and sign up for. And you can win yourself a trip to compete at main stage, where they're going to stream the top 4 of the tournament. And then if you go ahead and get top 4, you get a paid VIP trip to Summit or Ultimate Summit 6. So that's going to be sick, man. I think you should go there.
Wow, that sounds amazing, Chuck. I'm super excited for that. Just a reminder, there's one more online qualifier, October 23rd, and then main stage, obviously, for the last chance qualifier on December 3rd. For the online qualifiers, 2 West Coast players qualify and 2 East Coast players qualify. So make sure you check that out. Go to thearcadian.gg and check it out. Great event put on by great people, BTS. Check them out. Check out the Arcadian. See ya. All right, cool. I got kind of a different question since we have you on board here, Riddle. So I want to talk about other fighting games because I know you are, just like the rest of us on this podcast, big fans of other fighting game franchises. Obviously, you are, based on your character choice in Smash, et cetera, et cetera. So what are your top 3 fighting game franchises is my first question. Chat, you can play below too. We want to hear your answers, but go ahead, Riddles. Top 3 favorite fighting game franchises. So just
Number
big
1.
Picture.
Number 1, Street Fighter. It's
let's
Street
go.
Fighter, bro. It's Street Fighter, dude. Of course, it's Street Fighter, man.
Don't go deeper yet. Keep going.
Yeah, the Street Fighter. Number 2. Ooh, I actually don't. This is like when it gets hard because like
It's
Street
hard.
Fighter is so obviously like I played. That was like basically like my first fighting game. I got into fighting games because of Ryu and Smash. So I was just like I was just so
Cool.
curious, right?
Oh,
You know,
I love
played,
that. That's
I
awesome.
played Street Fighter 3. I played Street Fighter 5 a lot. You know, I love Street Fighter. It's amazing. I love that game. Really excited for Street Fighter 6. I'm gonna play the hell out of that.
Same.
Second and third, I'm not really sure, because the next game that I would think I would like be the most invested in was technically Dragon Ball FighterZ. I played Dragon Ball FighterZ a lot.
Good answer.
Yeah, around like 2018. It was like it was like in the midst of like when Smash 4 was dying and like Ultimate was coming
true.
out.
I remember.
Yeah, this was like when everyone was playing different games.
Yeah.
In general, yeah, because 2018 Smash 4 was like weird. But, yeah, so I think I don't know if it would be like my favorite franchise. It's hard. It's hard to think.
Sounds like it's your
Past
number
that.
2. What would you say
Yeah.
is your third then?
Third, ooh, I think it might be Guilty Gear.
Guilty Gear. Nice.
I think it
Guilty
might
Gear
be
over
Guilty Gear.
Tekken.
I was thinking the
Okay,
same.
Tekken is. I've been.
I'm
I
surprised
Tekken's
Tekken's
You have
actually.
been grinding Tekken.
I have been
'Cause I know
grinding
you
Tekken
played
as
a
of
lot,
late.
yeah.
It's funny because I think actually playing Tekken Kazuya, like, made my execution in Smash like way better. Infinitely times
So
better.
much
I'm
easier
not
to
even
electric in
exaggerating.
Smash.
Guys, I'm not joking. Like, if you learn electric like in Tekken, you will never drop an electric in
Yeah.
Smash ever in your life. I'm not joking. Like, this is the tech.
No, that
It's
makes sense. Yeah.
It's one frame in
in
Tekken.
Tekken, right? It's 1 frame in Tekken and 2 in Smash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Um,
and there's like a whole ass another like it's forward, neutral, down, and then down forward A or down
neutrals
forward
in an input.
punch.
Like,
yeah. Neutrals and input
resetting,
in
yeah.
Tekken. You know how in Smash
Wow.
it's just like sure you can, but
For
like
you, yeah.
it's way harder in that game, obviously. And I've been grinding Tekken, but I'm not really sure if it's like I love it, but it's like I don't know if I would say it's like my favorite. I think actually no, it would be Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, maybe Tekken or Dragon Ball FighterZ. I don't know. Either one
Tied
of
for
those two
third.
for the last
Fair
one.
enough. I like Gavin. Actually, I want to hear from Charles and Gavin too because I have mine as well. What do you real quick 3?
Street Fighter number 1.
Yup. Isn't that the only other one that you play?
Yeah, that's the only one that I have my own personal time invested into.
You could
You
say
know what-
watching too, like just enjoy.
Yeah, you know what
enjoy
game I
it.
really liked to watch whenever I see it because I think it visually looks really cool. Samurai Showdown.
It is good. Yeah,
I
good,
think
yeah.
that
That
game
is the fundamental like
That is,
fighting
like,
game. Like
pure
actually,
fundies,
it's
yeah.
marketed as like pure fun.
Maybe I need to play that game. Fundies.
Definitely.
And
It's getting
I don't
rollback,
know.
too.
I watched a lot of Guilty Gear Strive as well at like CEO. So I would say those 3 are interesting.
Dude.
But the only one that matters on my list is Street Fighter.
Dude, as a fighting
Surprised to
game
go, dude.
boomer, it makes me so happy that Guilty Gear is so popular because it was like the underground fighting game before. Like, oh, what's
Yeah.
Guilty Gear? Like, what is it? Like, you didn't know. Chuck, what are your top 3?
My top 3: Marvel vs.
Franchises,
Capcom.
Number 1?
Oh,
number 1, yeah.
Good
Like
answer.
I don't.
forgot.
Yeah,
I
You
never.
forgot
really
his
I'm
favorite.
actually. I was kind of disappointed in you, the youngins there. So
Yeah,
Marvel vs.
I-
Capcom.
They got Guilty Gear.
Dude, Marvel's like a dude.
All good.
The last good one came out in like 2012, right, or
I
something.
know.
Yeah,
That is-
Yeah.
The
Ultimate
fact
We're
that
not
you
gonna
guys-
talk about Infinite.
Game, yeah.
Right, we're not going to
Yeah,
talk about it.
we're
but-
not talking about that.
Watching Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and 2 was just, it's so sick. It
It's
is
the
just
best.
like, I put it up there in terms of like my favorite esports to watch with Melee. Like Melee and then Marvel 3 and 2.
Those are two really good choices.
Yeah,
for
we're
sure.
obviously not including Smash on this list. Like we're saying otherwise though.
Right.
Imagine we are actually. We're just
we didn't include Melee or Ultimate. Jeez.
Yeah,
Ultimate's
and then
like number 7. You know.
2 for
Top
me
10.
is it's got to be Street Fighter for 2, and then Guilty Gear for 3. Is my.
Oh yeah, and
Good choices.
mine,
Good choices.
Mine would be Street Fighter, Marvel, and Tekken for sure. Tekken's more of a recent thing for me, but I played it so much as a kid as well. So, all right, back to riddles. Your favorite game from each of those franchises in your main in that game. So if it's like, so for me, it'd be Street Fighter 3 and Ken. You know, like the third strike.
Oh really?
Mine is
big surprise.
Big surprise.
I think for Street Fighter, I'm gonna have to agree on you, Haz. I love Street Fighter 3, bro. That game,
Perfect.
Dude. I was grinding Fightcade like in 2016ish a lot, 2017. Dude, it was so much fun. That game is so much fun. I mained Ken and I played Urian as well. In that game.
Great
really
pool.
I love Urian. He's so sick.
I think Urian is so cool.
Yeah, he's amazing too. I played him in Street Fighter 5 as well. But I think
broken.
Yeah, he was broken and then he got nerfed. But
yeah,
yeah, and I also played Akuma in Street Fighter 5 as well. But I don't know, that game's kind of weird.
We played.
I don't even know. We did play.
Riddles and I played during. Was it during COVID?
I think it was during COVID. We just randomly played. It was like you were like platinum, I think.
Yeah, we did Seth versus Akuma. I got washed.
He did perfect me once. You did perfectly once, I remember.
All right, that's all that matters. Moving on.
The rest of it wasn't that pretty, but yeah, no. Street Fighter 5 is, I think that's like the best I've ever been at like a fighting game in my life. I got Ultra Diamond, which isn't like that great, that impressive now, but like I think at the time it was like pretty decent. But Guilty Gear, I'd have to say plus R, or Guilty Gear X2 plus R. Yeah, the one that the really old one. But yeah, I really like that game. I played that game with like my friends a lot. I do like Strive, but it's funny actually. I was actually grinding Strive for like a lot. The month it came out, like I was playing that game every day, and it was fun. And then Kazuya came out, and I was just like, yeah, fuck Strive.
Who's your main character in Guilty Gear, or your favorite character in Guilty Gear?
My favorite? Oh yeah, I played Soul. I played Soul in every. I played Soul in every game. Yeah, I know, generic answer, but like, you know, I love Soul.
He gets the job done.
He's sick, dude.
Yeah. Did you want Soul in Smash?
I really wanted Soul in Smash.
Same.
I really like. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted Soul way more than Kazuya before I came out, because I didn't really know about the character back then. But yeah, I really, obviously, you know, Guilty Gear so niche. Maybe Smash 6. I don't know. But bro, imagine five fighting game characters in the next Smash.
I can't wait. It's gonna be great. There's gonna be 10. We're gonna double digits.
Oh my goodness gracious!
No.
Soul and Smash.
He's gonna have an air. He's gonna have a horizontal air dash, dude. Instead of a dome jump.
Stop.
Roman cancels in Smash. No.
First. Oh my god.
We just like hit this really easy move into a Roman cancel confirm into like fully charged Smash attack.
He has his command grabbing and combo.
I need that, dude. I need that in my veins, bro. I need that shit. I need it.
Right.
But
what was your fighters team?
My fighters team. This is a season 1 ass team. It was.
Nope.
It was Goku, SSJ Goku, SSJ Vegeta, Trunks, I think.
Oh, damn.
Something like that. But it was a very basic season 1 team. I didn't. Oh, I know. I used Bardock instead of Trunks. Yeah.
Oh,
because he was broken at the time. But
definitely.
Yeah. Right. Tekken, I played Kazu. Yeah. Obviously. I actually started off with Geese at first, but I wanted to.
Oh my god! Oh, you didn't try Akuma? I'm surprised.
I did try Akuma, but he's weird in that game.
He is.
He's playing Akuma in Tekken for your first character is like trying to learn Smash brand new as like a Ryu main. You know what I mean? It's just like
that's a good way to put it.
Everything is so weird. I'm just like
that was me because I tried Tekken because B really likes Tekken, and I played Akuma just because I play Street Fighter, and it felt like I was like shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I know. He's very weird. He's like the FGC. You know, one thing I always think about, he's kind of like Kazuya. I always compare Kazuya and Akuma in Tekken. Like Kazuya and Smash and Akuma to Tekken because they're both like really good characters, right? And a lot of people complain about them, but they're also both really execution heavy. So I see a lot of similarities with them, to be honest. But they also both have like skewed risk reward and stuff like that. Yeah, no, definitely interesting to think about. But yeah, those are my mains.
Gavin, your main? I guess you only want to talk about Street Fighter.
Seth.
Like the only... Seth.
I got into Street Fighter 5. Yeah, I love that character.
Seth
I
is
only
fun.
got
Seth
in,
is raw.
so I've watched a lot of Street Fighter 4. Like I've seen like most Street Fighter 4 things out there, like tournaments and stuff. But I started playing Street Fighter 5 because Seth was like one of the last characters they ever released. But I started playing Street Fighter 5 the day Seth released, and I played a lot during COVID. And I mean, I was like pretty mid, but like I loved Seth so much that I tried my best.
You got like Ultra Platinum, right, or something like that?
Yeah, that was the best I did, I think. I did have a team in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 when I played that game a little bit. I played
Hagar,
Hagar, Hulk, Sentinel.
Of course. Yeah, the lifestyle.
Lifestyle, yeah.
That is the lifestyle.
Chuck, let's hear about your mains.
So Marvel 3, Zero McCry for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dude, the thing is, that team is so toxic and overpowered, but it's the coolest fucking team.
It's so
like,
sick.
It's so good.
And they're very broken, so that's hype. And then for Street Fighter, I played a lot. My most played Street Fighter was Street Fighter 4, and I made Ken. And then
so much Ken.
Yeah, for Guilty Gear,
Ken's the goat, dude. I don't know what to say.
My favorite Guilty Gear game is Strive, and I made Nago.
Nice. And then for me, it's Third Strike and Ken. Obviously, it's like maybe my favorite video game character of all time.
That Slash is clean.
Games.
It aged well.
What a surprise!
So good. Yeah, big surprise. I know. Chat's freaking out right now. What was the Marvel? My team was Nova, Doom, Virgil. Not too far off of what you did, Charles, but I love Nova so much. He's such a good lead. And then Tekken is Huarang, so I love him, dude. I think he's like the sickest character of all time.
Sick.
He's so cool, dude. So yeah. Final question here, or one of my last questions for you is: so all of those franchises we talked about, what is your favorite song from each of them? Like which
favorite
track
song?
Yeah, which one? Because fighting games, like they're so defined through not just like their aesthetics visually, but their audio is just so important, and it's always the music, and it's been getting better over the years. So think about it. I can lead if you want me to, because obviously I'm
already thinking of a bunch of like different Street Fighter songs.
Yeah, like it's so hard. There's so many to choose from, bro. Oh my goodness. I think Guilty Gear. Okay, I can start off with the easy stuff. Guilty Gear. I think my favorite song is probably Holy Orders. It's Kite's theme. It's just it's like one of the main characters.
Yeah, that is really good. That's a great song.
That's one of the best songs ever made. Street Fighter. This is so hard because like it's like. There's so many good songs. Street Fighter is like one of the best soundtracks ever.
Street Fighter 4 soundtrack.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool character themes.
There's like all the Street Fighters.
That's not even the best soundtrack out there.
I know, but like I just have nostalgia for those ones. Like Akuma's like Street Fighter 4 theme. There's like I think Jury's one of them that's really cool.
I think my favorite's probably Alex's theme from Street Fighter 3. It's just
that's
classic.
a really good one.
You mean
it's
Ken's
just a classic.
Right?
Yeah, I guess. Well, sure. Sure.
They share a stage, by the way.
Yeah.
It's called Alex and Ken's theme.
And Tekken, it's probably
so many good ones, dude. I think Tekken might have the best music.
Dude, that's
better
so
than
hard
Third
to decide.
Which is saying something.
Yeah, no, it's like Tekken music is insane. I think probably personally for me, Duomo de Sirio, the Tekken 7 song. It's in Smash. I play it a lot.
Which one is it?
Duomo de Sirio. It's a long name, but I play it all the time whenever I'm in tournament. Super good. There's too many dual stuff.
Is it your you can make your arena theme something? Is that your arena theme?
Oh, I don't play Smash with like the in-game music. I just use my own music.
Yeah. Do y'all know Faust Guilty Gear Strive theme?
That was a good one too.
I actually do. Like at first, I didn't really care for Seth's like Street Fighter 5 theme, but like it's become like a part of me now that I actually really like that.
Fighting game music's great.
I actually planned on like if I so sadly CEO we didn't have like an entrance thing, right?
Yeah.
And so I like if I got to pick like a song, like I might have picked like just straight up Seth's Street Fighter 5 theme, but then I was also like, wait, this is a tournament that also has Street Fighter 5 there, so that's like really weird. So I wasn't sure if I was gonna do it, but yeah.
I wish we were in the ring, man.
Yeah, I
It
know.
is what
Like,
it is.
think of the options we could have had. Like, just
Yeah.
talking about these songs, but there's also like other stuff we could have done too.
Yeah, we were forced to pick Smash. Panda forced us to pick like Smash songs, and I was just like,
Oh
bruh.
yeah, I remember that.
I mean, I had the whole Tekken soundtrack at least, but still.
Yeah, it's funny. They asked me like what song to use, and then they were like, "No, like you can't pick what you're thinking of." And I was
Oh
like,
my yeah,
"Damn
no,
it."
yeah. Some of the songs were like copyrighted too. I'm just like, bro.
Yeah.
No one
Before I
remained
could even
for you.
suggest it, they were just telling you, "Yeah, you can't do that one." I was like, "Oh, all right." So
Oh
I just
God.
did like Sticker Brush Symphony, of course, or something like
A
just.
classic.
It's
That's
the
a
best.
good one.
Yeah.
Chuck?
I'm really bad with music. Like I don't really
Okay.
remember it too well, so I can't really pick too much off the top of my head. Like if I know of some of them just because of just by proxy, I just like hear it a lot, right? But I don't have like specific favorites or
Yeah,
anything like that.
I knew that this question would like put some of us on the spot for sure. But my three, Ken's theme, Alex's theme, whatever you want to call it for Third Strike, probably number one for me. For Marvel, Captain America's theme, dude,
That's a good
that
one.
song is
That's a
so
good one.
hype.
That's a
That
good
song
one.
is insane. And
That's a
then
good
for
one. I think
Tekken,
that.
Oh,
Oh, you go on.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say. I think I put that song from like my Summit trailer. Captain
Oh
America
really?
theme.
Oh,
Super
dude.
good.
Oh, no.
It's such a good song. It is one of the best fighting game songs. And then I have Jin's theme from Tekken 3 would be my favorite for Tekken. That song gets me so hyped up, man. I don't know what it is about that song, but
It's super
just
good.
incredible.
There's too many good songs.
Truly.
Yeah.
And then I guess my last question for you is, so we've talked about it before, and I think I already know the answer, and I think we've already talked about this, but I think Kazuya, I love him obviously in Smash. I think he's a super cool character. The suits obviously are so sick, and then he has like the alternate, no like just the karate pants and all that stuff. The thing is, I kind of wanted a different Tekken character for sure. Like he wasn't my first choice. Who would be your first choice if you could put someone in from Tekken?
I don't really know. I wasn't that attached to Tekken at the time
Okay.
of the Kazuya release, so I was just like, but I do know that a lot of people talk about how like Jin would have been suited more a lot because he was like more popular at the time, wasn't he? Or like just like in general.
Tekken's so interesting as a franchise because it really has evolved. Because it was always Heihachi versus Kazuya, right, for the longest time, like Tekken's 1 and 2, and then in 3, Jin was introduced, and he's kind of slowly through the story like taken over as like you could argue he's the protagonist, but I think a lot of old heads would say it's still Kazuya and Heihachi. But off the new trailer, for the new game, it's looking more and more like Jin. And honestly, like he has the whole Angel Jin and Devil Jin. Like I feel like you can come with a moveset from him, but I'm not going to complain about Kazuya. But
I feel like they put in Kazuya because he's a simpler. He's probably easier to make. Jin has like trillion moves. Kazuya's like a simple character.
They did say that too, is they didn't go with Heihachi because he's just like a dude that does karate. Like, like obviously that's cool and you could do something. They have Little Mac in the game. Like they could make it work, but adding in the devil powers was just, it's so iconic in Tekken at this point too, right? Like that whole angel devil kind of theme. So I don't know, man. Fighting games are in a great spot right now. Obviously the fighting game.
Street Fighter 6.
Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, I'm excited. I'm ready, bro. Riot game, I'm ready, man. I mean, I still love Smash. I will always play Smash.
Course.
I will always. I don't see a world of me like, oh, I'm gonna switch to this game. You know what I mean? I think Ultimate will last like. Ooh, this is always an interesting topic because I feel like Ultimate is gonna last like maybe like at least like another 4 years minimum, unless like another Smash game comes out. But
definitely.
Yeah, no, definitely like at least another good 4 years because it's still like it's actually already been like 4 years since like 2018. That's like crazy to me.
Think about right like
I think we get to cheat a little bit too because like it's kind of we got separated into a couple different eras as well, like pre-quarantine, quarantine, and now post-quarantine, and it's like it kind of extends the lifetime of a game because we got that full like first year back after quarantine was like a new game basically, new characters, new patches, all this stuff, and now we're kind of in this settled period where the meta's still getting figured out. Like it's still a huge question mark who's going to win any tournament. We have no character and player wise. We have no idea anymore. Like it's the Wild West out here, and I'm all for it. So I think fighting games are in a great place. Fighting game characters in Smash, thanks to you and a couple others, are in a great place. Riddles and anything else you want to say to the people? I think this was a pretty damn good episode. I loved it.
Yeah,
honestly, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. I had a great time. Honestly, I love talking. I think talking about Smash, like just
it's so sick.
It's so much fun, dude. It's so much fun, man. Like I love Smash. I'll always love it, right? So it'll always be like I know it's weird, right? Because everyone like complains about Ultimate or whatever, on Twitter, you see all this complaining or whatever. I like Ultimate. I think it's a fun ass game. I think I think Smash just in general is so beautiful and amazing. I think the game is amazing. Like obviously it's flawed or like there's a lot of issues. It's not perfect. No game is.
And dude, I mean, we were talking about how much we love Third Strike, but that game is so flawed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's a lot of bullshit. There are some things in that game that I just hate so much, but it's still the best though, and I think Ultimate's the same way. There's so many games that are like that, and overall the positives outweigh.
I think a lot of the people complaining, it's because they care or it's because they love Smash and they're just like frustrated, but like. And they just play it so much.
And they just keep playing it.
Yeah. They're gonna go back in. They're gonna go back on the battlefield.
They're just like, oh, you just got thrown to my local, bro. I'm just like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, they still love it, but like sometimes like
it can be hard sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta like take a step back, like look at it from a different perspective.
It's always important to have a balance for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll always keep playing it for however long I can. Love the game, love the people. And I'll continue striving to be the best alongside my companion Gavin. And I know you have that same goal as well.
Yeah.
We're all competing for it.
I'll see you next tournament, Riddles.
Oh yeah, literally this week, Ludwig.
I was gonna say we'll see
you. Yeah, it's coming up.
We'll see you in Vegas for sure, Riddles. So good shit, man. And I think that's it. And
thank you
thanks,
so much
chat.
for being on the show, Riddles.
No
and thanks everyone for watching and listening. Thank you so much.
See ya.
Bye.
Peace.